Hello, my lovely. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Priestess Peaches, aka Jackie Lane from yourpeachylife.com. I empower ambitious and successful women in long-term relationships to operate in their empowered feminine energy so that they can have the love, pleasure, sex, and money that they have always wanted. And I just want to speak about something that I've realized is part of my genius, and it's something that I wasn't fully embodying before, and I actually really effed up last year around this a couple of times. I had a moment. Basically, it's about empowered communication with clients, potential clients in your marketing, and like responding to your audience online. So often, even highly successful women really struggle with this because it comes up. Like, you will have someone comment on your post and it will trigger you. You'll have someone disagree with you or try and prove a point or come into your space in a wounded energy, or you may have a difficult client, or something comes up in your client's life, and they're like, uh, there's like an awkward and uncomfortable dynamic going on. And one of the things that I realize is part of my genius is that I can very easily see for clients exactly what they need to say in these scenarios. And I can teach this. I do teach this. I teach empowered client communication skills. It's not just client though. This applies across the board, like I said, with your audience as well. And I don't really know what to call it. I'm calling it like client communication and coaching skills at the moment, and it's part of my Rising in Love, Pleasure, Sex and Money program. Like, I go deep. There's 2 modules in that program that go deep into your business, and this is part of that, like client communication and coaching skills. But this is even more specific. This is when there are awkward, triggery conversations to be had. And also, like, if something kind of comes up and you need to let go of a client, or a dynamic comes to an end and it's time where it's not aligned, or maybe you thought that the client was a dream client but they turn out not to be, and you need to release them from the program. Or maybe there's someone, maybe you have a group program and there's like one person in there who's really bringing down the group because they're just not in the same space, and they keep posting things in the group space that are just really not on the same vibe and don't feel good to you. And there may be times where people are in your group space, they don't have email access, but they keep emailing you, or they don't have Voxer support or Messenger access, but they keep messaging you. And you have to have boundaries, and you have to assert yourself in a certain way, and you have to communicate. This is something that I seem to be able to really help successful women with. I seem to be able to just know what they can say. Like, in an instant, I'm just like, I know what you can say. And I've discovered that I can teach this as well. And I've been refining this past year. Last year in 2019, I really messed up. I really messed up my communication with a particular client, where it was a very uncomfortable situation. I hadn't been in that situation before. It threw me off. Like, I adored this client and it threw me, this whole situation. Like, I did not realize certain things at all. Like, I didn't realize certain things. I didn't grasp certain things. Like, communication was not, I was not on form, and the way that I handled it was not fully empowered. I don't think it was really bad or anything, and I don't regret it. It was such a good lesson for me. And it's funny because I'm very much able to see for other people when I'm kind of not in it, when I'm objective, observing a situation. I can easily see, oh, this is what you need to say to your man. This is what you need to say to that client. This is how you need to respond to that post, that comment on your post. This is how you need to address this person in your group. This is how to do it. And it's all about doing it in a way that has compassion, that is understanding and respectful. I mean, these things sound really obvious, but it's not easy to do when you're triggered, okay? It's not easy to do when you're having a reaction to a dynamic or to a person or to a comment or someone's words, because it can really affect you as a coach. And I want to be really, really honest about this, because not many coaches speak about this. And like, even if you're working with a super duper aligned dream client, there can still be they're still learning, like they're still shifting things, stuff can still come up, like surprising things can come up and their wounds can come out, and you need the skills to be able to handle that. And yeah, so I have now, especially since my experience last year, I've really refined how to do that. I've really refined the client communication and coaching skills, and it's something that I'm teaching in my Rising in Love, Pleasure, Sex and Money program. And I'm so excited, and I've been speaking with a friend of mine who's like a business buddy, and I've just been asking her, like, how has this helped her, because this is definitely something that I have helped her with. And I really want to kind of get the words of what that's meant to her, because the same way where I script things for women when they're learning the communication skills to speak with their man and communicate with their man in ways that he can hear and respond well to, first of all, I will script it, what they need to say for them. And this is how you learn the skill. First, I will do it for you. Then I'll start asking you to do it. You'll pick it up just through what I've been saying, and then you'll get it. I'll be teaching you why I'm doing that and what it means and how it all works. And you're like relating it to my 10-step communication with men formula. So you'll be able to see that. It's a similar process here. I will have the communication skills within your business, and there's a certain formula for how you can go about that. And it's learnable. It's a learnable skill. And what it does is that it gives you the confidence to know that you can handle those situations like a freaking pro. You can assert boundaries with in a way that doesn't offend or upset anyone else. You can stand firm in your desires and express yourself in a way that feels empowered, that neutralizes the triggers, because there's sometimes triggers like from both sides. It neutralizes the triggers. You come back into that sweet spot of like the neutral energy. It feels empowering for you, and it actually inspires the other person into their empowered energies, because it's likely they're in their wounded energies and they're like, you know, commenting something, or they're showing up in the group in their wounds, or there's a wounds coming up with your client, or whatever the dynamic is. It's the way that you express is everything, and you want to feel confident that what you say is going to actually like shift the dynamic. It's going to mean that you have what you want. The outcome's going to be good for everyone. It's a win-win situation. The other person also then feels empowered as well, and like can recognize, they can shift, and the whole dynamic shifts. And so yeah, I've just been feeling into this. I'm thinking about like what, it's funny, it's ironic, because I am questioning like how to word it, like how to communicate that I can help you communicate. And what it means, like what it really means for you to have these skills and to have that know-how and to have me in your back pocket when these things come up, and to actually learn it so that you can then go on to use that again and again, and it work again and again. It just takes that pressure off. It takes that worry and that fear out of any dynamics like that, because it can feel scary when stuff like that comes up with your audience and in your programs and with clients. It can feel scary. It's like you want to feel like you're equipped to handle those conversations. And when you know how, like it came so naturally to me that I didn't realize like I didn't even know how to teach it initially because it just came so naturally to me. I could just see it. It would just be like, oh, just say this. And it would just be like, wow, it would work. It would work. It would work. And then I realized I need to break down like what this is. And so I started to break it down into a kind of like process. And it's very similar to communication with men. It's very similar, but there are some differences because in this instance, you are the leader of your work. You are the leader. So there's a slightly different energy dynamic going on there. And so that means that there are certain differences with how you communicate with your audience and your clients and potential clients to how you communicate with men. There's similarities, but there are some differences. So anyway, I just wanted to share this because I thought it's really interesting, and I'm realizing more and more and more how this is part of my genius. This is part of like what I can teach women to really make their lives a lot easier and for their businesses to feel good and flow a lot better and effortlessly and just feel manageable and enjoyable. And so I wanted to share it with you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions around this, if you have any of your own experiences around this kind of thing and what comes up for you. And I will see you in my next video. Have an amazing day and remember to keep it juicy. Bye.